That's crazy, man. I didn't know. What the heck is that? Let me search Warriors and see what news I can check. I wanted to see this because I'm of my boy Moody. I have to watch this.
Just like T.I. destroying 50 in a rap battle in 2026, I don't think the year 5 leap from Moses was on many people's bingo cards. Certainly not mine. I'm not sitting here saying, oh, I knew, no, but it's here. And you look, since Jimmy's went down, he's giving us 15, 4, and 2, 45% from 3. You say, okay, well, 20 games or so, he's on a hot streak. It feels sustainable. It feels sustainable because you can actually see what he's figured out, and that's what I'm going to tell you in today's video. But also when you think about who Moses is, steady Eddie, right? He's never too up. He's never too down. He's the same guy all the time. And so that's why I don't think it's going to be as much of a up and down with this because he's figured it out, right? He's so even keel. And I also think that, Kuminga's situation aside, I'm not talking about that. That was a disaster. We understand that. But I do think that there is somewhat of a misconception sometimes with young players. When they do break through and start to figure it out, the fan base is like, well, why didn't they play the whole time if they could have been doing this? They weren't ready. They weren't ready. There is development that needs to be had, especially how young these guys are coming in. And Moses, while not an ideal situation to come in and spread his wings on a championship team, right? But he's had opportunity, and he had to figure it out. But again, steady Eddie Moses.
See, this is one of the things I disagree with. Like, I understand the notion that on a championship team, you don't have the opportunity to develop players. But it's different if you have, like, bad players that are taking those positions. That's what I have in a disagreement. And I'm not to say those players are bad, but there is just no excuse to tell me that you've got Ty Jerome taking more minutes than Moses Moody. I don't care how bad Moses Moody was back then, but there's no way you would look at Moses Moody's stats and tell me that even if he doesn't give you what Ty Jerome does at that particular moment, you're not willing to bet on your actual lottery pick to say, hey, let me give him some games at the cost of Ty Jerome minutes. What's the other one? Anthony Lamb minutes? And there's another one who I'm even forgetting that shouldn't even be mentioned because it was the most egregious. I forgot. But he was on the 22 roster. His light skin almost looked like Steph Curry from a distance. Get his name. But that's my point. Like, there's no reason these players should be getting so many minutes. Even with Kuminga. As bad as Kuminga had mistakes and lapses, there was no excusing the stuff that was happening to him. Like, it was, even right now, we still have a pods problem. Pods is not terrible. Pods is not bad. But too much pods is. And that's always going to be the problem as long as Kerr is there. And I'm going to die on that hill. I don't hate Pod. I think he's a great player. But he plays way too much for his deficiencies. Despite all the issues that happened with Kuminga and Moody. Mind you, Moody only started starting as a player last season when Jimmy Butler came because they had to replace Wiggins. So in other words, if Wiggins didn't go, then Moody would have never been tried out. And that's the bottom line of Moses Moody's opportunity. It wasn't an opportunity. It's like, hey, let's give you a chance to develop. It was an opportunity because they had no choice. They dealt the cards, they traded Jimmy Butler, and now we needed a wing. And guess what? Moses Moody stepped up to the occasion. And even then, part of the fan base was like, no, he's not as good as Andrew Wiggins. Duh! Andrew Wiggins is an overall number 1 overall pick. Worst part, he's a championship caliber starter. And you guys expect Moses Moody to fill in that role? Mind you, within the first season, he's actually started an entire season. And even then, guess what? In the beginning of the season, they said, Moses Moody, the starting lineup is all yours. The 2 spot is yours. And then as soon as he got injured, Steve Kerr, for some reason, be like, no, we're going to give him be starting as soon as he comes back. Guess what? Comes back, nothing. Instead, what does Moses do? He drops 30 games, 20 games off the bench until it was forced that Moses Moody start. And even then, he was taken out again and then put in place of Anthony Mountain, which I get. Anthony Mountain is a great player. We are all enamored by last season of his performance. But there's one thing that drives me with most of the fan base anchors that they forget that Anthony Mountain played a total of 10 games last season. And but for some reason, they were like, no, Anthony Mountain has to be better than Moses Moody. And I would agree to some degree because he definitely can handle the rock. He definitely can play point guard. He definitely can guard. But there is no metric to say that at this current moment of the injury that he's better than Moses Moody that granted him so many minutes over Moody and the starting position. But then I digress. The bottom line is, you can miss me with the whole opportunity thing. That ship has sailed a long time ago. That maybe only applies to Will Richard, and even Will Richard gets done dirty. Because guess what? Will Richard is the first rookie to score 30. Okay, not the first rookie. Well, he has scored 30 before Potts, and yet Potts still plays over Will Richard. So you can miss me with that whole opportunity. What? Potts was given one opportunity, and he did it, and he went crazy with it. When Steph was out, and they were giving him the reins, and he was elite. But guess what? They just never went away from him, and that's a problem. That means even in all these blows, all these abs, the best thing they did was put him off the bench. Whereas with Moody, Kuminga, straight in peace. Not, oh, we're going to cut off your minutes. No, they were like straight in peace. I can guarantee you right now, there's not a single game Potts has missed. Even when he's sick, he still plays. That's how crazy it is, the difference between Potts, Moses Moody, and Kuminga. But anyway, I digress.
Looks like he has. Quickly, though, before we move on, did y'all catch Lakers Suns last night? I did. I had a real good time. Not only did I have a good time, but I was able to win and take advantage with Polymarket in the live market because the Lakers opened up heavy favorites. And it was like, I don't know. No Dylan Brooks, no Devin Booker. I'm trying to gauge it with my lens. I understand there's a wake room down. And what that does is it obviously